between a lucid dream, a children's show, and an acid trip, you'll find Wattam. The latest game from Katamari Damacy creator Keita Takahashi is an absurd and colorful adventure full of anthropomorphized objects, laugh-out-loud goals, and a dreamlike sense of floaty imprecision. It's not the meatiest of games, despite literally letting you play as meat, but it's a concentrated dose of ridiculous joy all the same. Bear with me here while I walk you through the concept. You control this mustachioed cube guy called the Mayor. Yes, that's a bowler hat, and yes, that's a confetti bomb tucked underneath it. And no, I can't explain any of that. You start out alone in the dark before you and potentially a friend in local co-op complete simple tasks that slowly repopulate the world. Everything in Wattam, including the ground you are walking on, is bubbling and giggling with smiles nearly the entire time. Before long, the mayor is surrounded by all of these anthropomorphized rocks, flowers, loose body parts, colorful poop, and dozens of other object friends. And the loveliest part of Wattam is that every single one of them is a playable character. The mayor is your main hero, but you can swap freely to any of the others at will. The ones you aren't controlling will wander about and do their own thing, making them feel more alive rather than just a bunch of empty vessels waiting to be inhabited. It's one of the reasons why I was genuinely smiling the entire time I played Wattam. It's just so pleasant to be in this weird and friendly world. Most of Wattam's objectives ask you to use certain characters in specific ways. For example, one had me become a tree and eat other characters and then regrow them as food, while another had me stack characters to try and match the height of a bowling pin. There's very little challenge to any of them, but they're also gleefully absurd that I had fun the whole way through the 2.5 hours it took me to finish the main story. Granted, that's not super long. While most of the objects have the same ability to run around, climb, and hold hands to create adorable little chains, some have specific tricks. The desk fan can blow, the toilet can flush, and the balloons can float high in the sky. The Imprecise Controls for character swapping that are tied to the right control stick can be a pain to manage at times, but there's rarely ever a danger or reason to hurry that could turn that minor annoyance into a larger frustration. Wattam is filled to the brim with fun thematic surprises, but it doesn't take too long before the loop of completing straightforward tasks to unlock the next set of characters over and over becomes fairly clear. There are some moments that break this cycle up with unique activities, like a faux boss battle or an investigation to find a piece of sushi's lost fish egg children, but these ideas come and go disappointingly quickly. Wattam isn't trying to be an action game or a detective game, though. It's trying to be exactly the mess of incongruous characters it presents you with, happily holding hands and smiling as they get blown up with a confetti bomb. It succeeds heartily at being just that, and there are some genuinely hilarious goofs and jokes throughout. That said, if Wattam wasn't such a charming game, then it would probably be a pretty boring one. Thankfully, it's got charm coming out the wazoo. The character design is fantastic, the world is colorful and lovely, the childish voices are a silly delight, the scenarios it throws at you are often creative and strange, and the consistently incredible music ties it all together. Every character has unique instrumentations that change and blend together as you control and group them, giving each a burst of extra personality, and its main theme song is Katamari Damacy levels of excellent. Wattam is a weird and wild fever dream of a game, but it's the most enjoyable fever dream I've ever had. Its loop of using ridiculous anthropomorphic characters to complete simple tasks in order to gather more ridiculous and anthropomorphic characters is silly and fun, even if it's not the most complex or challenging one. Some of the more interesting ideas Wattam uses to shake things up aren't fully explored, but being part of this friendly world, however briefly, is truly a joy. Never tried Keita Takahashi's most famous game? Check out a review of recent re-release Katamari Damacy Reroll. Or if you want another great, brief, but adorable game, watch my review of Untitled Goose Game. And for everything else, keep it right here on IGN.